Hey, Talofa Lava. Good morning. My name is Leotawa Dr. John Peterson, and you are checking in on TE2 Edge Sports Cards. TE2 is a consulting company that also includes realtor services, sports cards, music publishing, book publishing. We get involved in quite a few different things. So if you're ever interested in learning more about the music and the book that are part of the Alofa Movement project, just leave me a comment and I'm happy to hook you up with that. The book is from 2017 and the music is, just finished wrapping up a couple of songs in studio, mixed and mastered and everything. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, let me know. Yeah, I also do the realty services. I'm pretty busy with the consulting and the sports cards, so I don't really get a chance to do a lot with the realtor's license, but I am licensed as a realtor, and so if you have folks that are interested in learning more about that process, I can certainly talk about that at some point. Hope everybody slept well. Back at it, down in the basement at the card table here. I thought what I would do is just go through the second batch of priced cards. Last night I went through the first batch. This batch has a lot of vintage in it, very few modern cards. But I thought I would go through and show you what I put down for prices, and show you a little bit about the process. Of course, I use MySlabs. Here's my MySlabs page. You can see I have TE2 in there, so I've got over 200 cards listed. I really like the MySlabs platform. If you haven't checked it out, please do. I mean, the buy-sell is great, 1%. Buyer pays the shipping, or seller pays the shipping, excuse me. So if you're a buyer, you don't have to mess with the shipping. All offers are good and held for 24 hours. I don't use the cropping tool, but otherwise the platform, in terms of uploading information, uploading the cards is really slick. You don't have to put in, oh my gosh, so many different data entry points like you do with eBay. It's pretty much just click the box and yeah, you got to type a tiny bit, just the what card it is, what year, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's a great site, and I use it for collection purposes too. I mean, I use it to curate. A lot of people are seemingly, not a lot, but some people on YouTube, some content creators seem to be pretty hung up on either, you know, you're just doing this to collect or you're just doing this to flip. Man, I'm telling you folks, it's not about either or. You can do whatever you want to do and you can do both. Do I collect? Absolutely, I collect. I've been collecting for 40 years. Actually, 42 years. I started in 1980. But I'm a business owner now. And so this is part of my business strategy. One thing that I'll share with folks that I did is I established an estate plan and created a trust. And so all of these assets go into the trust and are part of my larger estate plan. There's a bunch of reasons why I did that. One of them is for ease of transference of items of tangible value, of which sports cards are an item of tangible value. If something were to happen to me, I want to be able to easily pass down the cards as assets to my beneficiaries. And so my wife is my trustee, and she and my 2 children are my beneficiaries. They're my primary beneficiaries, and I don't want to have them have to deal with all sorts of issues with taxes, or probate, or will, or any of that sort of thing when I'm gone, you know. And so I don't know how much I have invested in the cards. It's quite a bit. It's not just $10,000. It's far more than that. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that's one of my investment strategies, amongst others. Yes, I still do the market a little bit. Yes, I do savings and all that sort of thing. Home, I invest in my home, of course, or our home. But you know, the cards really they're like little stocks in many ways. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller, some of them are in between. But the way it works, at least, and I'm not an attorney, so I don't give attorney advice, and I'm certainly not an accountant, so I don't give accounting advice. But once you have an asset, like a card of tangible value, you can pass that on to your primary beneficiaries tax-free, right? Tax sheltered. Then on the date of death, or the day after the date of death, you need to get an appraisal, or you get a retroactively applied appraisal, an appraisal of the asset, in this case the cards. Once you've got an appraisal and an appraised value, then if you sell the asset and you sell it for more than what it appraised for on the date of death, then you have to pay what are called capital gains taxes on the income, the profit, the money that you made above and beyond the appraised value. If you sell the cards for the same amount or less, you don't have to pay the capital gains taxes because the appraised value was the same amount or less. So the nice thing about cards is that you can liquidate them without having to pay a fee like you would with an IRA, a traditional IRA, 401k. Sometimes you have to wait with those sorts of investment vehicles to turn. You have to wait for the person to turn like 66 to not have to get a penalty. And sometimes the penalty can be, I don't know, 20%? 20% of the penalty? I'm not a financial advisor, so I don't know all this exactly, but having been through this a few times, I was a trustee for my late uncle's estate last year. I've learned quite a bit. Sometimes the fee can be 20%, and then you pay the taxes. And the taxes are calculated at your current income, so it's not calculated at a tax bracket that's, age of 66, unless you're 66 and retired. So in the case of some of the assets that we liquidated for my late uncle, the total amount that was taken off the top was like 32%. So not so with baseball cards, not so with sports cards. Sports cards are assets of tangible value that once they get appraised, you can sell those at a loss. You can sell them at a gain, or you can break even on them, but you don't have to pay taxes to get this out of your hands. Now, if the card on the date of death is $45, and so that's the appraised value, and you sell it for $90 the next day, then you're going to pay $45 worth of capital gains taxes. You have to pay the government their taxes. That's a given. I don't give tax advice, but I do know that you've got to pay the government their taxes. So for me, it's really about not retirement so much, but it's about an investment strategy associated with my estate. And that's one of the reasons why I'm approaching this from a business perspective. Now, if people want to hate on people who are hustling, which is kind of what I'm seeing from a couple content creators out there who are all about, it's all about just collecting, and it's all about the ideal history of the cards, and people are worrying too much about the value and the slabs. Man, you need to stop hating. Seriously, people need to stop hating. Don't hate the hustle, congratulate, right? Everybody should have a hustle. And if you don't have a hustle, that's up to you. But for me, this is a nice little side hustle. It pairs up well with the consulting business. And am I going to make a ton of money doing this right now? No, that's not the point. The point is to build asset-based wealth that can be transferred to my beneficiaries in the event that something should happen to me in a relatively smooth and easy way. So if you want to learn more about that, or you want to ask me some questions about that, put some comments in, and I can definitely talk upon that or speak upon that a little bit more. So anyway, just wanted to share that. This is my pricing gun. So works pretty good. It's a little bit hard to load the new roll of tape or stickers, but there's a YouTube video on that, and I finally figured it out after like 3 hours of battling that gun back in the spring. All right, let's take a look at some of these cards. 55 Koufax, Great story that goes along with this. Picked it up outside of Detroit Stadium back in 1991. My family and I were on a trip out east, going to different baseball stadiums, and ended up watching the Red Sox beat the Indians, got Roger Clemens' autograph. I traded a 55 Topps K-Line and I think maybe like a Barry Sanders score rookie card and like 50, 75 bucks or something like that for this card. So I thought I did pretty well on that. I put $9.50 on it. I don't know. I'm not really in any sort of hurry to sell this, but if someone were interested in it and wanted to pay $9.50, I'd sell it. It's a team leaders card. It's kind of fun. It's got Chamberlain and Kareem, Lou Alcindor on there. The O'Briens. It's a 54 Topps card. It's 55. Got a Gervin rookie. 4.5. Not in great shape, but 75 bucks for a Gervin rookie. Kind of fun. Milt Bowling. Thought that would grade higher. A little disappointed when it came back as a 4.5. Same thing with this Jackie Jensen. That's a great card, though. He was a real nice player. I think his career was cut short. I'm not sure why, by injury, I think. Sandy Amoros. So let me know what you think about these prices. I don't know. I used Terapeak again. When I put them onto my slabs, I used 130 point mostly. I was able to find most everything on 130 point, but I think the difference between 130 point and Terapeak is that Terapeak has data on cards that were actually paid for. Just because something was sold and completed on eBay, I don't think it necessarily means that someone paid for it. And so I could be wrong on that, but you'll have to double check and see if that sounds accurate. But Terapeak has data that includes people who actually paid. Big Power. Minoso, it's a beautiful card. Look, he's getting ready to slide into second base. That's what, 175? Yeah, I don't think I'd go much lower on that one also. Maybe to 150. It's Magic. It's a Walton rookie. It's classic. Dr. J. Johnny Padres. It's another Vic Power. Yeah, so let me know what you think about these. Be love to hear from folks. 250. Money. I overpriced this. 75. I'm not in any interest or hurry to sell this. I think it probably is closer to 50 bucks, but I love those 54s. Oh my gosh, 54 is probably my second favorite set behind 56. Picked this Duke Snider up in a original CSG green flip holder, and I think I got this for like maybe 175. I have to look at it. I picked it up on PWCC. It was my first PWCC purchase, so I don't know. Spawn and Sane, Pray for Rain. Johnny Sane, but that with the Yankees, not the Braves. Next batch. Dwight Wilhelm. Great knuckleballer. One of the first relief pitchers. Yeah, great relief pitcher. Started off as a starting pitcher, but went into relief. Herb Score. Oh, man, some people said his stuff was just electric back in the day before he got hurt. It took that hit back in his face and was never the same. I forget what year that was. It was maybe 50, 59 or 60, somewhere in there. He threw a pitch and the batter hit it back and it smashed right into his face. Prior to that, though, he was considered by many to be the toughest pitcher in the major leagues. And I think that's a rookie card. 56 is a rookie. The Big Clue, Dan Kluszewski. Gil Hodges. Phil Rizzuto, Scooter. That's a great card. I had a 56 Scooter in a CSG 8. Auctioned it off on PWCC a whole number of months ago, and oh man, I wish I had that card back. Now you live with some regrets in this. It's impossible to avoid that. Monty Irvin, he was a hero of Roberto Clemente's. He used to play in Puerto Rico back in the day. Monty Irvin did. He'd go down during the winter ball and was considered legend by many down in Puerto Rico. So this is a pretty good copy. 85 for a 6. A Moses Malone rookie card. Pulled this out of a 5,000 count box of 70s cards. It's a 75, 76. $100 on that. 6 on the Kareem. There's a Bird sticker, 86 Fleer. Good old Larry Bird. This is a really valuable card in a high grade. I think it's actually worth more than the Jordan sticker from what people tell me. It's a sweet card. Look at his arms extended with the sky hook. I put $75 on it. Kareem, the captain. Dr. J. Those 86 Fleer stickers are classic. Another 86 Fleer sticker. So I found a bunch of these. Most of them had the wax in the back, so that's why the lower grade, but that's a rookie. Oops. Yeah, it's the top 5 all-time favorite card for me. How can it not be? Clemente, Aaron, and Mays. So I put, what did I put on this? 350. Yeah, this is a pretty valuable card. I found this, where did I find this? I don't remember, but I didn't pay a ton for it. I want to say I paid less than $100 for this. So maybe 80, I think it was $80 at a shop. Mr. Hustle, or Charlie Hustle, I should say. Pete Rose. Really fun to get some of those other 78s that I picked up this weekend graded. Steve Gromick. It's a nice looking 56. Another Vic Power. Got a ton of Vic Powers. There's a Breachin'. This is a pretty rare card, or it's a short print, I should say. 175 for the Ben Wade and a 6.5. I don't know what the story is. I used to know the story on this card. Maybe someone else knows with 54s. But something about this card, it was short printed, which makes it a little bit more valuable. So I'll put 175 on that. I'd be surprised if anybody bought that for 100. I mean, a lot of these old cards, these 54s and stuff, I don't think anybody's gonna buy. So I got this as a throw-in, so I bought a stack of about 100 54s. Oh, this is back in February or March, pretty early on when I started this whole operation. On the business side, like I said, I've been collecting for 40 plus years. The Dobie, so he wanted, I think, 2,000 for the stack of, I think, about 100 1954 tops. They were all these. A lot of these tops cards that you're seeing from 54 are the ones that I bought. So I think he wanted 2,000, and I said, I'll give you 2,000 if you throw in the Larry Dobie. Well, at the time, I didn't know that the Larry Dobie was going to be worth this much, so it was a decent little add-on to the deal. 350 for this one. Little off-centered left to right, but otherwise pretty solid. In a 7, this card's like a $600-700 card. Dick Groat. Seem to come across a lot of Dick Groat cards. Hoyt Wilhelm. See, he's got the knuckleball. Two-fingered knuckler. Those of you who have ever thrown a knuckleball, it's not easy. Not an easy thing to do. Harvey Keene, rookie card. former manager of the Milwaukee Brewers, otherwise known as Harvey's Wallbangers back in the 1980s, early 1980s. Robin Yount, Gorman Thomas, Cecil Cooper, Ben Ogilvy. Yeah, he was the coach. That's great. I don't know if he should be in the Hall, but he's close. Look at his stats. I've looked at his stats before, and I don't know, between his playing days and his years as a manager, I think you can make a case that he should be in the Hall, but probably won't. Hank Sauer. What's up here? Here's a nice 1960 Topps Alkaline. I knew I had another one of these. This one came back into 6.5, $150 on this one. Yeah, those half grades are kind of hard to sell, but I think they're kind of fun because there's a little more wiggle room with them. Dr. J, that's a cool card. It's a 71 Topps. Oh, just got killed on this one. Paid $50 to get this graded. Came back as a 7. Still a rookie. $25. If you're not concerned about the grade. The Great Joe Black, 54 Topps. It's a beautiful card. If I was looking at cards in my case, I'd look at this and I'd say, well, I'll give you $100. You know what I'd say? You can have it. It's a great card. This is also a great card. Jim Pendleton. Look at that bat. It's like a long stick. 75. I think I took it right off the tree. Jackie Jensen. Bob Milliken. National League batting leaders. 1961 Topps. There's a nice Frank Robinson. 63 Topps. Underrated player, undervalued cards. I think he's every bit as good as any of those guys from the 50s and the 60s. And first black manager in the major leagues, a civil rights proponent and leader, and just a fantastic all-around player. I can't remember. I think he 565 home runs. That comes to mind. Yeah, what a great player. Let's look at his stats from the prior year. 1962, he had 208 hits, 51 doubles, 39 home runs, and batted .342. Yeah, it says Frank was the National League's MVP in 1961. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. His stats from 62 are even better than his stats from 61. I mean, that's a phenomenal season. 39 home runs, 136 ribbies, and .342 batting average. Youch. That's impressive. Luke Easter, 54 Topps. Zoilo Versailles. I'm good friends with his grandson. Professional colleague and friend. 74 Reggie Jackson. That's a fun card. I actually prefer Reggie in the Oakland A's uniform than the Yankees uniform. There's an Issel, highly underrated basketball player. I used to have this in a CSG. Oh boy, I think it was an 8.5. That's like a $1,200 card because this is a rookie card. Auctioned it off on PWCC a while back and ended up only getting like $250 for it. It's one of the bigger regrets that I've had over the last year is auctioning that off. You really got to be careful with auctioning off stuff on PWCC, you get a good price, but you're totally at the whim of their market and who has eyes on their stuff. And once you submit it, it's gone. There's no pulling it back. So just be aware that if you do submit stuff to auction, you've got to be totally ready to let it go. And you'll get a good price for stuff. But if it's in a CSG slab, CSG is still kind of up and coming. They have 2,000 slabs in the current weekly auction, so it's definitely increased over the last couple months. The presence of CSG slabbed cards, or cards slabbed by CSG. But I don't really want to do any auctioning of cards and CSG slabs until the market catches up a little bit. This is a really nice 56 spawn. It's highly centered. I'm not in any rush to sell this. Put 325 on it. It's a white back too. Jim Brady. Joe Adcock, first baseman for the Braves. I thought this might be a 7.5, maybe even an 8. Jim Owens. Al Aber. Here it is. That same 65 batting leaders card in a 7. Looks like it's a diamond cut, just a tiny bit on the top, maybe a little bit on the bottom, but I put 500 on this. Again, I'm not in any hurry to sell this. I'd sell it for 450, but that's about as low as I would go on this. And then the last stack here. Wilt Chamberlain's last card. Milt Bowling. Zadorish. It's kind of a fun card. The Green Grass. 7.5. It's good for that 54 Topps card. Bought this card for like $5 from a dealer. Steve sold it to me. Pretty good price. It's nice shape. Dr. J. So I have 4 of these. I have 2 8s, an 8.5, and a 7.5. I put 175 on this. I think I probably paid 100 for it ungraded. So I'm in it for like about 110, 115 if you include shipping. I don't know, I think this is a great card all around. Alex English 86-footer sticker, also sticker. It's a nice boon. 7.5. That's a heck of a card right here. Yeah, that's great. And then to finish it off, a 61 Topps Frank Robinson. All right, folks. Well, I appreciate you watching. That's all of what I have that is in, that's ready to be priced. All the other slabs in the back there, they need to be uploaded into My Slabs and priced on My Slabs, and then bagged and then stickered. So, but hopefully that